realize that you're not alone. Shine your light like your mother said, for you were there when we were led. And there's a path for us all to see. Just grab that lamp that's at your feet. Et Chaim Hi L'ma Chazikim Ba B'Tom Cheha Me'usha. You can hear it, it's in the breeze. It's a story written in the leaves. Though those branches, they may wind and weave, it's a tree of life. It's Chaim. It's Chaim. Ma Chazikim Ba Tom Cheha Me'usha. It's Chaim. Ma Chazikim Ba Tom Cheha Me'usha. So come on in, find a seat, light those lights that usher peace. You can feel it, it's in your bones. It's a growing song that calls you home. That's Chaim Ma Chazikim Ba Tom Cheha Me'usha. It's Chaim Ma Chazikim Ba Tom Cheha Me'usha. מלאכי השם, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השם, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השם, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I need a sign to let me know you're here, 'cause all of these lights are being drawn out in the atmosphere. I need to know that things are gonna look up, 'cause I feel us drowning in a sea spilled from a cup. And there is no safe place and no place safe to lay my head. And you can feel the world shake with the words that I said. And I call it all you angels. And I call it all you angels. I won't give up if you don't give up. I won't give up if you don't give up. I won't give up if you don't give up. I won't give up if you don't give up. 'Cause I need a sign to let me know you're here. 'Cause my TV set just keeps it on from being clear. I need a reason for the way things have to be. And I need a hand to help build up some kind of hope inside me. 'Cause I call it all angels. And I call it all you angels. When children have to wonder if their parents are still here, and people have to sleep outside 'cause their homes have disappeared. The only hope we have tonight is to pray to God with all our might, and to cling to one another as the angels of the world unite. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hasharim, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hasharim, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hasharim, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Thank you for being with us. We are here in the sanctuary, and I know that you are all at home this week. Next week, we hope to welcome those who wish to join us back in our sanctuary as we begin to come back indoors and see each other panim el panim, face to face. We are going to start on page 24 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeichen l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu.
We turn to page 2 as we bless our Shabbat lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We will continue. We're having a little bit of a sound issue, but we are going to continue in a moment on pages 20 and 21. As is our custom, we are going to reflect on the week that has been. Touched anything?
Let me, Claudia, just mute everything.
As is our custom, we are going to take a moment to reflect on the week before we enter into L'Chadodi. So go back to last Shabbat and pause on each day, reflecting on its challenges and its blessings. And then we'll come back together on pages 20 and 21 for L'Chadodi. We will sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, I invite you to turn toward the doorway to your home to welcome the Shabbat presence and the Nishama Yetera, the extra soulfulness that tradition tells us travels with us during Shabbat into our homes and into our hearts.
Lechadodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Lechadodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Shamoy v'zachor v'dibor echan Yishme'anu el hamyuchan Adonai echan u'shmo echan L'shem u'l'tiferet v'litchila Lechadodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Lechadodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha Ki mekor habracha Meirosh mikadem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshvat chila Lechadodi likrat kala Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Lechadodi likrat kala Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nehekabela Itoreri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, shidaberi, kirod Adonai, alayich nigla, lechadodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela.
We face the doors to our homes and or rise as we welcome the Shabbat presence.
Boi l'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzola tochamunei am segula boi chala boi chala lechadodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela lechadodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela.
We continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish. I'm going to invite Austin Hanley to lead us. So Austin, you can turn on your camera and your microphone and lead us in Chatzi Kaddish.
Yigadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirtei be'amlich malchutei B'chayechon u'vyom echon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimaru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach Le'olam ol almei almaya Yidbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitbanam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amin ram be'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
Amen. Austin, if you can turn to page 28 and just, which is the next page, or whatever the next page is there, and just read for us Baruch Hu. And then we'll continue by chanting Baruch Hu. I invite those of you at home, if you're comfortable, to rise for Baruch Hu. Go ahead, Austin.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Thank you so much.
Lai la la, ya la la la, lai 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 lai, ya la la, ya la la la, lai 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 lai, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. La la la, Baruch Hu et Adonai Am V'Vorah. Ya la la, ya la la la, la 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 la. Baruch Adonai Am V'Vorah le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, la la ya la la la, la 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 la, la la ya la la la, la 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 la.
Page 30, last three lines in the Hebrew, El Chai V'Kayam.
El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Amariv, Aravi.
Amen. Page 32. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Ahavatecha al tasir mimenu leolamim, Baruch atah Adonai
Shemo.
ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. Page 34 and 35, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam. Shem kevod malchuto le'olam ha'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
If you're standing, you may be seated. We continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam b'vanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot aliyatecha v'hayu le'torafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet
Emet. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha, page 40.
Mocha, Bailim Adonai, Bimi Kamocha, Nedar Bakodesh, Noratei Lord, Osei Fele, Noratei Lord, Osei Fele. Sefele malchutecha rauvanecha okayam limnei Moshe Miriam zeili anure ameru Adonai Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo meyad, chazak v'menu, baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo,
Gal Yisrael.
Amen. We ask the Holy One to watch over us and to protect us, to shelter us with a Sukkot Shalom, a Sukkah of peace, that we may lie down this evening with Shalom, with a sense of wholeness, and rise up tomorrow L'chaim, with a full embrace of the potential of the day. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim, ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, ushmor tzeteinu uvoenu, ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, ushmor tzeteinu uvoenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'amidenu shomreinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
We give thanks for Shabbat, for the opportunity it gives us to breathe, for the pause that it gives to our week, for the opportunity it gives us to connect with God, with our deepest self, with our community. We join in singing Vishamru, page 44.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asu et ha-Shabbat l'dorot hamerit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asu et ha-Shabbat l'dorot hamerit olam. Ve'ni u'vein b'nei Yisrael, Oti leolam, Oti leolam, Oti leolam. Veshamru Sheshet Yamim, Asa Adonai, Et HaShamayim, Et HaAretz, Veshamru Bnei Israel, Et HaShabbat, Lasot Et HaShabbat, Lidorotam Berit Olam. Uvayom Hashvi, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash. Veshamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Lidorotam Berit Olam.
We turn to our Amidah, beginning on page 46. If you're in a comfortable place at home to do so, I invite you to rise. If not, we rise in spirit. Adonai Tzvatai Tivtach, and then we'll sing the first three blessings after that of our Amidah together, then have time for some silent prayer.
Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo V'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah.
Page 50.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaya Kol Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim V'Chesed, Chayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofet Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevuro, Umido Melach, Melech Memi Chayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ha'chayot Hakol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh Hakol.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Please take a few moments for silent prayer for the text of your own heart.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there in virtual land. The rabbi earlier mentioned about stepping back and taking a breath on Shabbat, and that the piece I've chosen actually fits very well with that theme. Magen Avot, which is a liturgical poem, which actually is a condensed version of the Amidah, which we have just heard. And in most traditional synagogues, it's one of several prayers recited aloud following the silent devotion, which we are right at that point right now, and is concerned with the Shabbat and praising God for giving us this day of rest. Now, in musical terms, it's also one of the most important Shabbat chant modes, which dominates the liturgy of Friday night and Saturday morning, the Magen Avot mode. And this particular musical setting is by Israel Goldfarb, who actually was the composer we opened our service with on the Shalom Aleichem. That's one of his most famous compositions that's universally loved and sung at synagogues around the country, probably around the world. Goldfarb was a very famous early 20th century rabbi in Cantor who happened to also compose that setting, as I mentioned. And I'm going to be playing his version of it right now, Magen Avot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Polhoy, for that beautiful rendition of Magen Avot. This week's Torah portion is about giving and about visioning a future. We're told in this week's Torah portion by God, "Ve'asuli mikdash v'shochanti b'tocham." Let them build me a sanctuary so that I might dwell among them. First of all, that's an interesting idea that it is, let them build me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Because you'd think that it is, let me build them a sanctuary so that I may dwell in it. But it is not. Menachem Mendel of Kotsk writes, it says among them and not in it, to teach that each person must build the sanctuary in their own heart. And then God will dwell among them. They shall make for me a sanctuary, and I shall dwell among them. Nachalat Shiva says that it was once asked where God is. And the Kotsker replied, wherever we let God in. Let them make me a sanctuary. If a person is filled with love and awe of God, then I will dwell in them. So we have, as the backdrop for this week's Torah portion, this whole idea of what it is to build a holy place, to create a place, not just a physical place, but a place in our lives, a place in our society, for holiness to dwell. We learn in this Torah portion that every Israelite is invited to contribute to the building of the Mishkan, of the portable temple in the desert. It says, tell the Israelite people to bring me offerings. You shall accept offerings from me from every person whose heart so moves him. In Hebrew, the word for donation is nedavah, but that's not the word used here. The Torah uses the word truma, which is also, of course, the name of this week's Torah portion. The word nedavah is used when one gives charity. We alter the status of the recipient from poverty or hunger to a state where we've eliminated that poverty or that hunger, but just for the moment. If we feed a hungry person, it's definitely a mitzvah. But 10 hours later, they may have returned to their previous condition of hunger. We have contributed, but not permanently transformed things. But when a person participated in the building of the tabernacle, it was to create a long-term mechanism for changing the world. The temple, the Mishkan, the tabernacle was a place where holiness was supposed to be channeled into the world and into their lives, making people feel emotionally and spiritually restored. The word truma comes from the verb lecharim, to lift. Certain acts can not only be felt in the short term, but can be instrumental in changing the world for the better, for the long term. Building for today and for the future not only lifts us, but can sustain us. We need to build for beyond the moment, but for a life and for institutions and for society that nourishes and cares for all who are part of it. We should always endeavor to raise the world with long-term solutions. We need to lift the world. And in order to do that, we need to lift people. People need to be lifted from darkness and hunger, from illness and despair. So when we truly think of what it means to build a mishkan, a holy place, so that God can dwell amongst us, what does that look like? What does that holy community or that holy society look like? How do we, in that space, lift people up, not just for the moment, but create structures that allow people to be lifted, that allow kindness and compassion and justice and mercy and love to prevail? That's really the work of building. The work of building our own hearts. The work of building a synagogue community. And the work of building our world. A world of wholeness, a world of shalom. Shabbat shalom. We're going to turn now to page 253 as we turn our thoughts to all of those in need of blessings for wholeness and for healing. Healing of body, healing of mind, healing of spirit. Misha Berach, I invite you to put the names of those you're thinking of in the chat.
Holy One, who blessed our mothers, blessed our fathers from ancient days, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Malei Rachamim Aleihem, V'Hachzikam U'Rafotam, V'Yishlach Lahem Refuah Shleimah, Refuat ha-nefesh, Refuat ha-guf, Toch sha'ar cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Toback, Paula Steinbach, Rosin Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Marion Snyders, Kimberly Zimmerman, Brad Holland, Beatrice Caden, Meg Silton, Serena Postal, Bobby Kay, Marilyn Freeman, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarski, Ellery Einstein, Ken Mitchell, Patricia Kramer, Bavini Feldman, James Cecile, Esther Bespris, Joan Morse, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Blair Pollock, Myra White, David Grossman, Daniel Brewster, Lori Snyder, Jeremy Knoller, Charity Razaday, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Reed Gratz, Sarah Coachman, Richard Handley, Barbara Fass, Jessica Calderwood Kubel, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, Carol Berland, Nancy Aiden, and all that are in our hearts.
HaKadosh Baruch Yemalei Rachamim Aleihem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
I'd like to invite Dina Benjamin to turn on her camera and her microphone and share some announcements with us.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom and greetings from the Board of Trustees. We want to welcome all of you and thank you for sharing your Shabbat with us online tonight. We offer our gratitude tonight to Rabbi Kupitz for leading our service and for his insightful sermon about what it means to build a sanctuary and create a holy, uplifting space. To Cantor Bush for inspiring us with beautiful music and prayer. To Dr. Randy Polivoy for his wonderful rendition of Magen Avot. To Austin Handley for his terrific contribution to tonight's service. And to Claudia Gonzalez for her excellent technical support. We have several events coming up in the next few weeks at TBI, all of which are in your weekly Temple Update emails and our Kahila newsletter mailed to all members. I'll highlight a few. This Sunday at 9:30, the Brotherhood invites you to an insightful and informative program on long COVID, what it is and how to treat it, presented by TBI member Dr. Arthur Weinstein. The program will be on Zoom and is open to everyone. Links can be found in the TBI Update email. This Wednesday, be sure to tune in for week 2 of Dr. Tammy Schneider's engaging class on the real King David. All are welcome to attend this 4-session Zoom class, which kicked off a couple of days ago. But even if you missed the first one, feel free to come and join us this next Wednesday. Looking ahead, make sure to mark your calendars for our annual Interfaith Exchange with Claremont Presbyterian Church to be held February 13th at 10 a.m., hosted by CPC, and February 18th at 7:30 p.m., hosted by TBI. Both events will be virtual. We hope you'll join us to celebrate 44 years of our shared community. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I wish you all good health and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Dina. Anything you need to add?
No.
All right, great. The only addition I would make for the Interfaith Exchange is that they are virtual for guests. We hope to be here in the sanctuary for our part of the exchange, but the CPC congregation will join us virtually. And the same thing at CPC. They'll be in person on that Sunday, but due to COVID, TBI is invited to join virtually in that community. And just watch your temple updates for more information on that. And next Friday, the 11th of February, our sanctuary will be reopened, and we would love to have you join us here in person in the sanctuary. Of course, we'll also be available virtually for those who are more comfortable that way. So put it in your calendar, and we hope to see many of you here with us, panim el panim, face to face.
And Baruch Hashem, may this be the last time we ever have to restrict access, and that we can continue in public from here forward.
We're going to turn now to Aleinu L'Shabeach. We rise in body or in spirit, page 282, middle of the page.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Page 294. Our thoughts turn to those who have been important in our lives and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. Remember the recent deaths of Julius Joe Kummerman, father of Howard, and we remember Beverly DePrisco, mother of Max Retzloff. Remember Jim Aiken, father of Christine Aiken. Remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Barbara Bush Kaplan, Marion Levin, Jeanette Malum, Helen Pruitt, Alan Anichich, Julius Eisenberg, Zachary Hahn, Florence Kirschbaum, Sam Levitt, Ruth, Robert Bigelow, Dorothy Blumenfeld, Rella Friedman, Alan Medorsky, Lois Marquise, Joseph Shear, Arlene Swilling, William Leslie Curtis, Julius Drozen, Laverne Harris, Morley Lasky, Herman Master, Ernest Morton, David Rafison, Abraham Schwartz, Leah Brotman, Beatram Deitch, James Leonard Gratz, Emil Gross, Sherwin Grossman, Scott Jasker, Esther Siegel, Frida S. Burke, Thomas Epstein, Eliza Coachman, Flora Simon, Ruth Slomka, Monty Thane, Linda Gordon, Maurice Grossman, Benjamin Harris, Al Hendricks, Evelyn Hochstein Bass, Rita Jacoby, Louis Meyer, Fanny Sucherdollar, Nettie Wellington, and all of those who you hold in your heart and feel free to mention in the chat as well. We join in the words of Kaddish, again, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ro'mei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dikudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata b'shirata tush v'chata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom mimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam libracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. We'll conclude our service on page 321 with Biado, and then Kiddush and Motzi.
Beyond Adonai li velo yira. Ve'im rochi keviati. Adonai li velo yira. My soul I give to you. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. My soul I give to you. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. We join in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. We join in Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you so much for being with us. See you soon.
Join us for Havdalah tomorrow night at 6:45 on the same Zoom and TBI, Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook channels. Shabbat shalom.